Hi, this is Kirk, the Bariatric Carnivore. Hey, health should be simple. I mean, I'm sorry. I watch videos from those 20-something influencers who get real excited about the latest and greatest supplement and exercise and stuff like that. And that's all fine and good, but it really isn't going to get you healthy. I mean, really what you need to concentrate on is the Pareto principle when it comes to getting healthy. Pareto was this Italian economist who realized way back when that about 80% of the land in Italy was owned by 20% of the landowners. And he kind of noticed that same principle happening everywhere. In most businesses, in most economies, about 20% of the people control about 80% of the wealth. And it's really interesting, when they've explored this idea, they find that in agriculture, about 20% of the bushes will produce about 80% of all the fruit. And it's a fascinating thing, but then somebody in the 1940s started looking at it from an industrial perspective. And they found out that about 20% of the employees produce about 80% of the company's results. And 20% of the operation of an assembly line produce 80% of the results. And if you start focusing on that small 20% and improve that, then you get bigger results. It's the small hinges that open big doors that make all the difference in your health. Well, the same thing applies to your health. Look, you're not going to get healthy by taking a supplement. You will not out-supplement a bad diet. You can't exercise your way to lose weight. It doesn't work. If it did, everybody'd be skinny because we're all being told to eat less, move more, and it just doesn't create results. You need to apply the Pareto principle. And really, there's 20%, the smallest amount of work that you can do to get healthy is just really 3 small things. They are: quit eating sugar, quit eating grains. That means corn, barley, rye, wheat, and get rid of industrial seed oils, or what most people refer to as vegetable oils. If you get rid of those 3 things, that's going to produce 80% of your healthy results, and it will be amazing. If you just do that just try it for 2 months, you're going to notice a significant reduction in inflammation, which means a lot of the aches and pains in your joints are just going to mysteriously vanish. You will wake up feeling better. All these little things are going to happen, and you're not going to know why. Well, I'm telling you why. Because you're going to get rid of the inflammatory elements in your diet that are killing you. They're killing a lot of people. The reason why nearly 90% of America has some form of metabolic syndrome. And I've told you before, what metabolic syndrome is, it means you've got a big waist. You got a lot of fat stored around your abdomen. You have a high triglyceride level. You have a low HDL level. You have high blood pressure. And you got a high fasting glucose level. Any one of those, all 5 of those are markers of metabolic syndrome, but people that have 3 out of the 5 markers have full-scale metabolic syndrome, otherwise known as prediabetes, or if not complete, type 2 diabetes. That's what causes most of the heart disease. That's what causes most of our joints to get inflamed. This is what's causing a lot of the autoimmune diseases. I mean, if you're suffering from psoriasis or some sort of irritable bowel syndrome, aches in your joints, all these type of issues are really caused by your diet and those 3 elements. Try eliminating them. Just eliminate those for 3 months and see if you don't see vast improvements. And it's amazing how these small little changes, 20% of your dietary changes, are going to result in the biggest results. And it is stunning how quickly and how powerful that is. Look, what I've come to now is I've reached a point where I enjoyed making those small changes. And as you do that, you're just going to naturally start wanting to move again. And next thing that you're going to do is, the small change that you will start to make is walking. Walking is the 20% exercise that most of us need to incorporate in their life. You know, you may never pick up a weight, you may never pick up a band, you may never do yoga, but if you just walk every day, you will notice a vast improvement in your health and how you feel. But look, diet first. Get rid of the sugar, get rid of the grains, get rid of the vegetable oil. And then as you start to feel better, incorporate a little walking. That 20% change will create 80% of your overall positive health results. You're going to feel better. It will be stunning. Now, why are all these influencers having all these videos with all this latest and greatest little changes that you can make, or exercise tweak, or why you're doing your push-ups wrong and stuff like that? Well, frankly, as you get healthier, you're going to become more aware of drag. And this is a term that I use because my son was a competitive swimmer in high school. And he kept wanting to get the latest and greatest swimsuits, trying to reduce drag. And I kind of thought he was like one of those golfer types that was brand new and always wanted to buy the latest, greatest club to give himself an extra 5 feet or something like that on his drive. But his coach explained it to me this way. He said, look, your son, you're just an average swimmer. I mean, you can wear any trunks at all, and it's hard work for you just to get up and down the lane. He is completely aware of every bit of drag on him because he's trying to push out every millisecond that he possibly can. That's why he would shave his legs before swim meets. I mean, because he knew that the hair on his legs was creating drag, and every little bit that he could shave off was saving him time. So as you start to improve your health, you will become more aware of the drag, and you will start tweaking things. And then you'll be ready to do things like learning how to use weights to improve your strength and get more musculature. You'll become more interested in things like supplements and issues, to help with different issues. But take care of the 20% first. And look, six-pack abs don't begin in the gym. They begin in the kitchen. And they begin by making the smallest change, the 20% change that will result in 80% of your health gains. And that is the elimination of sugar, elimination of grains, and getting rid of industrial seed oils. Now, that's the good news. The bad news is this. What that means is you're going to have to get rid of processed foods. Because when you look at virtually every food that you're probably eating this week, it's got one of those 3 ingredients in it, if not all 3. Almost all processed foods have these ingredients because they're so darn cheap. They're ubiquitous. They're everywhere. You can't get away from them, which means you're going to be kind of stuck with just single ingredient foods, like meat and broccoli or, whatever. Cheese, milk, eggs, things that are simple because they're not going to have industrial seed oils in them. And start getting used to reading the labels. It will blow your mind how much junk you're putting into your system that has been inflaming you for years. Now, the plus side is, when you start eliminating that, you're going to start waking up in the morning and you're going to be feeling better all of a sudden. It's almost a mysterious process. I mean, I remember I was almost freaked out when I woke up the first time and just jumped out of bed and realized, wait a minute, I didn't have to do that little 5-minute stretchy thing where I'm trying like crazy to get my back into place so I can get up and not scream in pain. That's going to slowly but surely go away. For me, it was like the first couple of weeks, I woke up in the morning without any real inflammation or pain. And that's a wonderful thing. That's the upside. How much better you're going to feel. Now let's talk about the downside. You're going to go through probably some withdrawals. I mean, you've gotten pretty addicted to sugar. You've gotten pretty addicted to all, the high that you get from the bliss point of processed food. That food has been engineered by scientists to make it almost highly addictive. Some people have said that sugar is about as addictive as heroin, if not more so. And they said, look, if you want to make a heroin addict, make sure they get heroin every day for 2 weeks. And you got an addict. You got a customer for life. Well, they do the same thing with sugar. They put it in everything to make you want to have more. It's what keeps you going for the colas. And you maybe, when you start eliminating sugary soft drinks from your diet, when you quit grabbing the crackers, you're gonna, and the bagel and the cereal and all that other stuff, initially you're gonna feel a little anxious, tired, because you're not giving yourself a dopamine release. It's kind of like quitting smoking, or if you just tried to quit coffee, cold turkey. There's going to be an adjustment period, and it's thankfully it's not like getting off of drugs, but it's still addictive. So it's going to take a little time to work through that process. Get yourself some support, some help. I've found that if you just put a little salt on your tongue, that'll take away part of those cravings for sweet stuff. If you just do little things like that, just work it through for the first couple of weeks. And when you get through that carb addiction, when you get over that processed food addiction, and it takes about 2 weeks, it's going to be a little jittery, it's going to be tough. I'm not saying that it's easy. If it was, then everybody would do it. But if you're one of those people that are willing to get rid of their love affair with processed foods, that's going to be 80% of your results. And then you're just naturally going to want to start moving. And I'm not suggesting you go to the gym right away. I'm suggesting, the first thing you want to do, the first easy thing to do for exercise is just walking. And, just going for a walk, get into nature. And it's kind of amazing. After a couple of weeks of eating good food, then you just want to start moving, you start walking, and then we'll start adding in other stuff. Because at some point, you're going to become aware of drag. And you're going to want to make yourself stronger and healthier. And then we can talk about supplements, but you just can't supplement a bad diet. This is Kurt, the Bariatric Carnivore. If you like this material, if you want to hear more messages like it, then please hit the like, subscribe button. We put out a new message every day. And if you want to be informed of when I've got my latest, greatest idea, please hit the button, because then you'll be informed. And it lets more people know that this channel exists, because the algorithm, strangely enough, doesn't let anybody know about these videos until people start liking it. So, and how do you get people to like it? Well, you got to get more people to watch it. So it's a kind of a double-edged sword. But with your help, we can get this message out to more people. Talk to you tomorrow.